Hey fact users, we are back again this week with some gems for you. From unsealing tombs in Egypt to cloning sheep in Scotland, this week is absolutely stacked. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. Let's start on February 16th, 1923. This story sounds straight out of an Indiana Jones movie, if you've ever watched one before. British archaeologist Howard Carter had been searching for years in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. And then finally, he found it, the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. When Carter opened the burial chambers, he was greeted by treasures beyond imagination, such as gold masks, jewelry, and artifacts that had been untouched for over 3,000 years. This discovery sparked global fascination with ancient Egypt and gave historians an unmatched glimpse into the life of a pharaoh. But it also came with whispers of a curse. Shortly after the tomb was opened, people started dying under mysterious circumstances. The media, they called it the curse of the pharaohs, claiming that anyone who disturbed the tomb would suffer a tragic fate. Curse or not, Carter's find remains one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of all time. Are you one to believe in curses or not? On February 17th, world chess champion Garry Kasparov faced off against Deep Blue, an IBM supercomputer designed to play chess at an elite level. Kasparov won the first match, proving that human strategy still had an edge over machines at the time. But just 1 year later in a rematch, Deep Blue would make history by defeating Kasparov, marking the first time a computer bested a resigning world chess champion. This wasn't just a chess game. It was a turning point in AI development, showing that machines could now compete with and even surpass human intellect in specific tasks. Fast forward to today, and AI is everywhere, from self-driving cars to ChatGPT. But it all started with a chessboard and a showdown between man and machine. Stretching across North Africa, the Sahara is the largest hot desert in the world, covering an area almost as big as the United States. When we think of the Sahara, we imagine blazing heat, endless sand dunes, and a landscape so dry that it rarely sees a drop of rain. But on February 18th, 1979, something extraordinary happened. Snow fell in the Sahara for the first time on record. The temperature dropped so low that a rare winter storm dusted the dunes in white. Though it only lasted 30 minutes, the sight of snow in one of the hottest places on Earth left locals and meteorologists stunned. Since then, snow has made a few more appearances, proving that even the most extreme climates can still surprise us. February 19th is about three main things: teamwork, strength, and a little friendly competition. You might be wondering why. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because it's International Tug-of-War Day. This classic test of power and endurance has been around for centuries, dating back to ancient Egypt, China, and Greece. And you know what? Believe it or not, tug-of-war was even an Olympic sport from 1900 to 1920, with teams from different countries pulling their way to victory. While it's no longer in the Olympics, it remains a favorite at festivals and competitions worldwide. But tug-of-war isn't just about brute strength. It's about strategy, coordination, and sheer determination. And let's be real, sometimes it's just about not being the first ones to fall over. Whether you are team pull hard or team fall over laughing, this game is all about bringing people together. So here's a challenge for you. If you could build the ultimate 5-player tug-of-war team, real or fictional, who would you pick? Drop your team lineup in the comments and let's see who would dominate the rope. On February 20th, 1943, a farmer in Mexico named Dionisio Polito was working in his field when the ground started shaking. Suddenly, smoke and ash began spewing from the crack in the earth and eventually lava. Within hours, a volcano was born, Paricutin. This volcano continued erupting for 9 years, eventually covering several villages, and by the time it stopped in 1952, a brand new mountain had been formed. Paricutin grew to over 1,300 feet tall within the first year. It is also one of the very few volcanoes in history that humans have witnessed from birth to extinction. Nature really said, "I'm building a volcano here, deal with it." Today, Paricutin is one of the world's youngest volcanoes and a geological wonder, proving that Earth is constantly changing, sometimes in the most dramatic ways possible. You might want to buckle up for this one, because February 21st, 1948 marks the founding of NASCAR, one of the biggest motorsport organizations in the world. What started as a way to organize races on dirt tracks in the American South quickly became a global phenomenon. William France Sr. saw a need of turning what was once a rough and tumble sport into a full-fledged industry. From the Daytona 500 to a global fan base, NASCAR has grown into a high-speed, adrenaline-fueled extravaganza. What started with bootleggers racing on dirt tracks has now become a billion-dollar industry with legendary drivers, thrilling finishes, and some of the fastest cars on the planet. It's a sport that's as much about the fans as it is about their drivers. Ending out the week, we have a breakthrough that changed science forever. On February 22nd, 1997, scientists in Scotland publicly announced the successful cloning of Dolly the Sheep, the first ever mammal cloned from an adult cell. This wasn't just a cool experiment, it was a scientific milestone. Dolly proved that cloning was possible in complex animals, sparking debates on genetics, ethics, and the future of biotechnology. While cloning has potential benefits, like preserving endangered species, it also raises big questions about identity and ethics. Though Dolly only lived for 6 years, her impact on science is still felt today. She remains one of the most famous sheep in history, right up there with the ones we count when we can't sleep. Well, that's a wrap for this week. While some were uncovering a pharaoh's tomb in Egypt, others just across the desert witnessed snow in the Sahara for the first time. Meanwhile, as engines roared in Daytona, Dolly the Sheep was taking her first breath. History is truly fascinating. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fascinating stories every week. See you in the next one.